What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle every day, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you for joining. I want to weigh in on breaking news. The ACLU sues Arkansas for anti-trans law limiting health care for youth. Let's first talk about the law. The Arkansas legislature passed HB 1570 in March. It prohibits doctors from providing medically necessary treatment to transgender youth. It also makes it illegal for doctors to provide minors with treatments, including puberty blockers, hormone therapies, or any transition procedures. And those who flout the law could lose their licenses. It allows private insurance companies to refuse coverage for gender affirming treatment for residents of any age. I had a disagreement with Michael Knowles about this on Twitter. This issue that I'm talking about right now is about standing on principle. It's not about the trans issue. Michael Knowles tweeted, he actually had a video that I reacted to that he has taken down, which I was surprised by. But then he replied, "Will you please stop panicking and just let us do the procedures to the kids?" He says no. He is not standing on principle here. He's saying no because he doesn't agree with it. I tweeted, I like Michael a lot, but he's on the wrong side of this issue. If a child, their medical professional, and their guardians all agree on anything, the government should stay out of that decision. I'm going to leave on the bottom of this video those three things. That's what this is about. This is not about the trans issue. That's how you stand on principle. You got to dig deeper. On the surface, the ACLU, which is a group that is embarrassing, we agree on this one, but ACLU has been terrible. But the ACLU is suing on this law as an anti-trans law. My concern is the fundamentals, the principle. On principle, it's a child, their guardian, and medical professional all agreeing on the decision. If that ever happens, the government needs to stay the hell out of my life, because it applies to more than just the trans issue. Someone tweeted at me and said, "You know, a society is in decline when the chief political discourse is sex, gender issues. Just bottom of the barrel stuff. Why not focus on economic policy or something more adult-like?" And I understand where they're coming from, but they're missing the point of where I'm coming from on this topic. Some other people might be talking about gender and debating back and forth. I'm talking about the principle of those three things on the bottom of this video. If those three things are met, government stay out. So you notice that has nothing to do with just sex and gender. That's about anything. Somebody asked me, what if the child's guardians are unhinged and they seek out a medical professional who is a monster? It's not difficult to do. That's why Michael is on the right side of this issue. So I replied, it's not illegal to be an unhinged parent. If they are unhinged but haven't done anything to break the law and they still have legal custody, then they have legal custody. Their vote counts. Everybody in the world isn't hinged. If a medical professional commits malpractice, they can be sued. They can lose their license within the medical industry. You don't think that would happen if you're doing these recommendations and down the road, like 10 people come back and say you made the wrong choice? It would be handled. There's no track record of that now. They're trying to get in the way and say, we're going to save you. No, don't save me. Whenever you hear someone say, I think, was that Reagan who said that? I forgot who said that. I do not agree with Ronald Reagan on a lot, but I believe this is his quote where he said something to the effect of, there's nothing more terrifying than the government saying, I'm here to save you. I'm here to help you. And that's what they're saying here. No, don't help me. I've got a medical doctor. I'm a grown person and I can make the decisions with my family. This is the same reason that many people in the conservative realm and I diverge when it comes to abortion. Children are born inside of their mothers. Sorry, guys, I didn't make the rules. So the government has no business, if the mother and a doctor agree on a procedure, The child in that case obviously can't consciously agree or not. So it's just the mother and the doctor. If they agree on a procedure, I don't care how religious you are, you have the right to look down on someone, you have the right to disagree with them, but you shouldn't have the right to stop them from making their decision. I know it feels passionate that this is murder, but that ain't your life. That's somebody else's life. So you need to there has to be a point where you understand I can have my opinion, but I don't get to affect somebody else's life. It's the exact same thing here. Then someone else said you could use the same logic to endorse child marriages. No, you can't. There are three conditions I discussed, the same ones that you see at the bottom of the screen. If all three agree, the government has no business being involved in anything. So, what medical doctor are you going to get to endorse a child marriage? They say, well, why don't you change the drinking age? What doctor will you get to agree with you that your child needs a bottle of vodka? This is not a child decision. When you go back to his tweet, the underlying issue is that children are not capable of informed consent. Well, they're not making the full decision. I agree completely. It can't be only up to the child. They're a minor. So you get the gist of where I diverge. I need help on this one. Let me know. I haven't heard anyone yet put a hole in my argument to make me change my mind. I am always open to being wrong, though. In closing, Republicans and Democrats at times are exactly the same. Void of principle when it comes down to things they disagree with. Look what happened with Donald Trump on social media. I don't consider these social media companies private because they own too much market share and they have direct contracts with the government. That's not a private entity. Your local barbershop doesn't have market share like that and business and contracts with the government. That's a private business. These guys are not private businesses. We are way off if you think YouTube is a private business. So I consider that censorship when Donald Trump was kicked off of all the social media platforms. Funny how he wasn't kicked off of Facebook, but Twitter said okay, or it's funny they all make the same decision. But my point is, Democrats said Trump is dangerous. We have to forget about censorship, forget about what's right morally, forget about that. We have to get him out of here to save you. No different than Michael Knowles saying, we need these anti-trans bills to save the children. No, you don't. Not when you have that core making the decision. Same with guns. Those on the left say, oh, all this stuff is happening with guns. We need to infringe on your constitutional right to bear arms. You know why? Because we, the government, have to save you. That's the exact same thing Michael Knowles is doing here. Stand on principle. Take care.